Welcome to Chat with Leaders. Our mission is to give resilient servant leaders a platform for sharing the inspiring things they're doing to lead themselves, their teams, and the communities they serve wisely. I'm today's host, Jeff Bond with AppBerry, where we develop custom apps and cloud solutions. I'm incredibly proud to welcome two incredible leaders at InspireEdu, formerly Power My Learning Atlanta, a tremendous nonprofit organization making a huge impact to ensure digital equity for students, families, and school systems. Richard Hicks is the CEO and president, and Oneisha Freeman is the director of partnerships and programs at this remarkable organization. Welcome, Richard and Oneisha.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while. You guys serve school systems and families and provide refurbished equipment to areas that have that need. And my gosh, we are in a period of time here in July of 2020 as we're recovering from this pandemic where that is so relevant, and you guys are busier than ever. So I'm really excited to be digging into this today and hear your perspectives. And let me just jump right in. Richard, if you could tell us a little bit more about InspireEdu and why the phrase digital equity has become the heart of your organization and mission.
Yeah, and thank you again, Jeff, for having us today. Inspire EDU is a organization that is near and dear to our hearts. We've been, since the inception in 2007, as formerly Power My Learning Atlanta, we've been bridging the digital divide since 2007 for over 12 years. And we have seen the actual need of making sure that digital equity is at the forefront of when you're trying to address the immediate needs of the community. Atlanta has changed over the years. It is becoming a smart city. We are thinking of the state of Georgia being a digital inclusion state. I think that is an attainable initiative that we can actually be a part of. And one of the other pieces of making sure that the digital resources are in the hands of the underserved community, it just strengthens our community and makes it an even better place for folks to be educated, for companies to actually migrate there. We feel like we're in a great place to really address that need as Inspire EDU, formerly Power My Learning Atlanta, and we are committed to making sure that digital equity is on our forefront and continues to be a central part of our mission.
And Atlanta is such a thriving technology community. And for such a long time now, particularly when the economy was in a little bit better shape than it is now, we talk so much about the talent shortage, but also the skill sets that were necessary for the entering workforce to be able to use technology and equipment. And so what you're doing is really helping build a better tomorrow with the workforce and the students that are learning and acquiring these skill sets to get to that point. So thank you for the good work that you guys are doing. It's such a great mission. Oneisha, coronavirus, the word of 2020. It's thrust students, teachers, families, and school systems into this whole new world of distance learning. I got to say, I'm a parent of 3 young kids under the age of 6, and kind of rocked our world when we realized how unqualified we were to be teachers last semester. So can you talk to me about the impact that that's had on your leadership, your organization, and the community that you serve?
Absolutely. So the fact that we've been addressing the need of ensuring that technology is in the hands of students and parents and families that need the most, but also that those families have the understanding of how to leverage that technology to improve to increase learning at home and to support what's going on in the classroom. We were very much equipped to address the need of school closings. So on March 16th, when schools closed here in Georgia, we immediately went to super activation mode, like a transformer, we're like, okay, we were built for this, right? And if we were ever going to step up, that was the time to do it. Or go the extra mile, right? And so at that point, we had served about 1,250 families during the 2019-2020 school year. And we immediately started distributing devices. We were able to keep our warehouse open, so our staff was able to continue to serve safely, because we repair devices. And the fact that, you know, people that had our devices from the past were like, oh, you know, I have a virus. We need to get that. We need this computer for sure now. Like, we need to get the virus off, or we need to get the Windows stuff updated, you know. So we were able to serve in a couple of different capacities. We began distributing devices through several means of delivering them to children's homes, to creating a drive-through distribution at different schools and different sites. We did we had principals that would come to our warehouse to pick up devices. And so what changed the most was the how we executed what we did, but the fact that we were still doing it just spoke to the fact that, you know, we've had a lot of community support, and people were saying, you know, how can we help you? What do you need? And we kept our ear to the pavement with our school partners, with the district partners, to say, you know, what is it that you all need? How can we plug in? And so we never stopped working. And it's been a good, we've been very fortunate to be able to serve in that space during this time. And then we're flexible enough with our organization to be able to listen to our principals and the school leadership and say, whatever direction you're going in, we can support you in that direction, and we can support your vision. So if your vision is a hybrid model, let's talk about how that's going to affect those parents. I'm a parent as well, and I think about the pain points that I experience, and that when we do our family training, I do them based on what I'm experiencing and all the many families that we serve, you know. So one of the things is that we were able to, one of the things that didn't sort of change, but we evolved super quick during this past couple of months, where we've been able to plug into, I would say, the most marginalized and most vulnerable families in our community, families that we may not have necessarily had as strong of a touch point with, because of just how our model was before. But you know, working directly with social workers, working directly with organizations that serve the refugee families, or refugee students, and you know, really finding those students that, those families that have multiple children in the household, right? But no device or one device in that home. So yeah,
And
it's
I think
been
it'd
a,
be important to also ask, where is it that you get the majority of your devices from?
yeah. So we get our devices from companies, typically the corporate world. They they give us, or they donate to us, their unused technology. They typically go through a refresh maybe every 3 years or so. So they donate their unused technology. When it comes to us, we wipe it clean. We have this whole process, you know, that we have to be very meticulous in how we handle their devices. And we've gotten devices from, you know, a lot of companies where we wipe the devices clean. We then re-image it with some learning software, as well as Microsoft Office. And then that's what we deploy out to our families. We also take donations from individuals in the community as well. So it could be, you know, a pallet of 20, or one, you know, and tablets as well, and things of that nature. We've been able to get out to families and children.
Yeah, it's remarkable the ecosystem that you guys have been able to build, and the partnerships, and to your point of getting out in the community and doing things a little differently. I mean, I follow you guys on LinkedIn and social media and in the technology community, and you guys are a remarkable bunch of people that are out there rolling up your sleeves and doing what it takes to address the demand and to really fulfill your mission and serve people. So it's remarkable. Thank you. Richard, as we look towards the 2020 or I guess it's the 2021 school year and beyond. How are you seeing this kind of quote unquote new normal taking shape in schools and distance learning from your perspective?
Wow, Jeff, I definitely am, one, let me just start with, I'm encouraged with going through a crisis. You can find kind of your true self. You can come out of these crises as a swan, and you can actually move forward with a new norm. I think that virtual learning has been something we've looked at, acknowledged that we've had, but never really dove into it as we're having to dive into it now. So looking into the 2021 school year, being able to kind of test drive this even further and stress test it, as maybe this is something that us as a society evolve and look at it as a way for us to continue another way of learning rather than just the same traditional way. This is a chance for us to really think outside the box and come in and bring in kind of like a new norm, but even a sort of being in a proactive state, so that when we have a crisis of this magnitude, it's not shutting us down completely. We work through these kinks now and figure out what our strategic plan is going to be. And then as these sort of things approach us, we know how to switch gears. It's not something that's going to bring us to our knees, have learning loss, but then even decide whether or not we're going to be able to operate. We kind of need a real uh, uh, practice like this to be able to go in and even create this sort of new norm that we have to come in front of. In 2008, the Great Depression, the Great Recession came on, and everything. It created some new norms. Then that I've been with the organization for years, and I've been able to see Atlanta for years. But coming out of the Great Recession, there were some new norms that were created, and we were able to adapt. And those new norms are so in our society embedded that we don't see the difference. We don't see the difference right now because we came up with a bunch of solutions. So now we're at this point in our society once again where we got to get a tune-up. And in the education arena, this is a great test for us to see how we can further learning with the technology that we have and the technology that we're continuing to upgrade throughout the years, and utilize it even better than we have before. We've been utilizing it and we do it pretty good, but there's always room for improvement. And so moving forward, even as our company InspireEDU, we're going to figure out other ways that we can actually reach our families, the students, and even evolve the actual curriculum that we're actually putting forth. Our team is strong. We're outside the box thinkers, and we want to be able to go into this 2021 as strong as we came into this crisis, and being able to bring us out and say, hey, anything like this happen, we're ready. We're not going to sit here and back down from it. And that's the way one, we get through these sort of things, but then you can make those projections that we all know that we need to make. They become a little bit clearer. So I'm very optimistic. Whenever challenges and crises like this, it's not a time to do the Chicken Little effect. It's like, let me roll up my sleeves, because now I get a chance to really show what I can do. And this is been our time to really do that, and we're very proud of the implementation that we've done since the crisis started on March 16th and the school shut down. But moving forward, we see that virtual learning is going to be an important part. We see the conversations that's taking place. We all know that the technology has to be there. And one of the other pieces that we want to do is collaborate with other companies and or the other organizations, nonprofits, community-based organizations, so that we can be able to serve better. And maybe even far as go in there and find some issues that before they even hit the pavement, we've already addressed it. So this is truly a wonderful time to really to find our best self, and we're looking forward to 2021 and being part of those conversations.
Well, I love the enthusiasm, the encouraging words, and just I figured out in my lifetime, that I don't have it all figured out, and B, that the only constant is change. And so people like yourself that embrace change and that are remaining optimistic, it's certainly met with a lot of resistance because people don't like change in general. Tradition and change are usually like, at total opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's nice to have someone like yourself that's embracing it and that's helping us navigate this new norm. Oneisha, last question I had for you is why is it important for other people in leadership, business, and technology in the community, since you deal with partnerships, to help further your mission?
It's important because, bizarre might be the word for 2020, but we're in this together is not just a hashtag. It is so true. We need a full community to embrace the schools because they really need our support. And so our goal is to just be a part of that community that is, holding hands around the school so that the principals and the teachers can focus on the things that are going on inside that school building, providing the best education for all children regardless of their economic or community, neighborhood. And that's what they do. And so there's other things that are going on in families' homes with the children, whether it's they don't have food, transportation, technology, childcare, it's all these other things. And so our thought process is to look at it where the school is the center of the community, which a lot of it used to be the church, right? So right now we look at it like the school is the center of the community, and how can we work with those other organizations in the community, in the neighborhood where the community is, in the county, in the state, to provide the unique services that those particular children in that community needs. And so in order to further our mission, we have to be collaborative. We have to look at, we can't do everything and be everything for everyone. But when we see that there's a specific need, let's say, for an example, there's a community that a school that particularly has a high rate of homeless students. Then what we might not be, we can't provide housing necessarily, but what we can do is work with another organization that does do that, and collaboratively we can address multiple needs and wrap our arms around that family, so that that child, when it goes to when he or she goes to school, they feel very confident and safe and loved and cared for, and not just the child but their siblings, their parents, or their caregivers as well. That's one of the things that I think is going to be the true success of our organization, is how we strategically partner with other entities, whether it's government entities, or other nonprofit organizations, or the corporate community. The corporate community also plays a big part in this as well. They have we're preparing the future of work, and they have those jobs and opportunities. And so it's really important for us to also bring them into the communities that they may not live in or work in, and show both sides, show the corporate community, hey, this is what's going on over here, and you can get involved and make a difference with us. Like, we're going to help you, even if it's uncomfortable, because sometimes it's not as comfortable to go somewhere you've never heard of you've never been in. And we really we have been, even throughout our time working in Atlanta, we've been a conduit in between the corporate community and the schools and those neighborhoods and under-resourced communities, to say, let's bring everybody together. And it's been beautiful moments, and that's how we've been able to galvanize both that corporate community and the local community around the schools.
That's a beautiful mission, and it's so cyclical and all interconnected. Truly, our fates are bound together if we can all work together to build our community up. And to your point earlier, Richard, we came out of the recession of 2008, and the economy was the strongest we had ever seen it, and we were all doing much better, but we can even do better than that, as we bounce back from this crisis. So thank you both for your inspiration. Richard, I would ask if people wanted to learn more about Inspire EDU or get a hold of you or Oneisha, what would be the best means?
Visit our website at www.iuatl.org and learn about us. And we have a contact page. We'd love to be able to hear from everyone and reach out and just kind of, to Oneisha's point, have a collaborative effort in addressing this crisis together.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for your gift of time and your inspiring leadership and service to our community. We'll be posting the show notes as well as the information to get a hold of you guys on our website. When the podcast is fully published, we'll be getting this up on YouTube very shortly so that we can promote that out through social media and get the good word out about how people can be helping. But again, thank you guys so much for being on Chat with Leaders today.
Thank you.
Thank you.